Morning and welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today on this short and friendly webinar that we've put together with myself and our beautiful ride partners, Michaela and Brad, and we're here to talk about the Grampians Ride. Now, we've just commenced our second season of the Grampians Ride, and after an extremely successful first season, we are once again looking forward to another fantastic season. For those of you who haven't been part of our webinars before, this gives you all a chance to get to know Brad and Michaela a little more and find out a little bit more about the ride, a few tips and tricks, and hopefully turn up with less nerves and feeling a lot more prepared. It'll be, I'll try and keep this short and sweet. We'll keep it to about a 20-minute session. I will be the host and I'll guide the chat with Brad and Michaela. And this is I just stress, this is a great opportunity for you to ask any questions you have and clear up any queries you might have. We'll keep it light and fun. And hopefully you'll get even more excited than you probably already are for your upcoming Grampians Ride. So we might kick it off formally. Brad and Michaela, maybe you can just give everybody a little bit of a background on yourself, just introducing yourselves and a little bit about your background with horse riding, horses and guiding, please.
Yeah. Okay. Guiding. Started guiding in a partnership in Zimbabwe with a mate of mine. We set up a canoe and horse riding business in the Zambezi Valley, and due to the wonderful politics of the place, I decided it was better to come back to Australia. So anyway, I've been guiding in Kosciuszko. As a kid, my parents had a property up there, and we used to take our cattle up from the Riverina into the border of Kosciuszko National Park for the summer, and I've been working out of Admiralty as an area for about 2010 doing guiding, and competed in a variety of different horse sports over the years, from rodeo to polocross. That's about it.
I started guiding in, I think it was 2020, and have done ever since, just in Kosciuszko, but I grew up with horses. I was the only horse person in my family. Mum had them when she was younger, and then I actually think I got my first pony on my brother's 13th birthday. So that was a good day. On top of him probably, but so I got my first pony when I was about 8 and have had horses ever since. Done a little bit of pony club, not competed, but I've worked in a riding school / racehorse training stable. Did that for about 5 years, and then I started guiding.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for that update. That gives people a little bit of a feel for what you guys are about. I mean, we've both Brad and Michaela have been friends of the Globetrotting family for probably 4 or 5 years now, and it's a beautiful relationship and one that we love and continue to want to grow. Maybe Brad and Michaela, maybe it's a good opportunity for you just to give people a quick feel for after they arrive at the beautiful Mount William homestead. At the first day in the afternoon at around about 3 o'clock, they get sort of taken around by the owner of the property who talks about the history of the property, and it's a lovely introduction, a nice gentle introduction in the afternoon to the property and the history, which is absolutely unbelievable. And then that evening we go in and you, over a few cocktails around the fireplace, you give your beautiful health and safety induction, which is fantastic. And then they wake up the next morning. Maybe you could give a bit of a feel for what happens with respect to horse matching and how you go about matching up people with their horses on that first day.
Okay. So, they do a tour when they get in the first day. And like you say, the place is just phenomenal. It's the most beautiful property, so well cared for and recently renovated. And then after they've had on the first day of riding, everyone has their breakfast, and then they come out to the saddling area, and their horses are saddled, and we allocate the horses to each person. Basically, we know our horses very, very well, and through the information that gets sent through from Globetrotters, we then allocate the horse off the basis of that. We do have some spare horses as well. If someone's not comfortable with their horse, we can swap them around or do a change. We have done that on our last trip. And then
actually, sorry to interrupt, that's a really good point, which people often raise, is that for whatever reason, if you're on a ride and you don't feel comfortable, or you'd like to, for whatever reason, you don't feel comfortable on your horse, please, we always encourage our Globetrotters to talk to Brad and Michaela, and if any of our ride partners, and just explain, discuss what the issue might be, because 95 or 99% or 100% of the time, they will find a solution. So please don't be shy in speaking up. It rarely happens, but when it happens, I know that they look after you very well.
Yeah. No, it could be a simple fix. It might be a swap. It might be just an adjustment of gear. There's no point sort of sitting on your horse all day and you're wondering why your leg hurts and there's a buckle that's in the wrong spot or something. So it's
a question that a lot of people often ask is about the pace of the ride. And I know the pace does vary, and I know that it depends on terrain, but maybe you could just give a little bit of summary of from the first season, the pace and how it will work.
Yep. So what we do, just for safety of people, we operate where we do I suppose the best analogy is the group is the aircraft carrier, and it's moving, through the sea. And if someone wants to go for a trot or a canter, they can sort of go off the side of the group and go for a canter or go for a ride, and then they return back to the speed of the group. So that way, if there's someone in the group that's not super confident, it doesn't mean we're all going to go into a mass canter. People can go off with twos or threes with some mates off to the side. And that way, if people feel, because it is a beginner intermediate ride, if people feel that they are in trouble, they can just stay in the group, which will be travelling at a walk or maximum at a trot.
And you'll find on this ride that there are plenty of wide open spaces for that to happen, which is a lovely luxury on the beautiful properties and everything that we ride around the base of the Grampians.
Yeah. No, it's a very spectacular place. There's just the size of the trees on these properties are probably one of the most beautiful things. It's just like a parkland that we ride through. But they are working farms, so there's lambing. At the moment, we've got lambing. So the first ride this season, we saw the first lamb come out. Now there's thousands of lambs popping out. So it's all happening. Calving will probably start on the next ride. So
that's good.
There's always something going on.
I know that everybody knows this, but if anyone would like to put any questions into the chat so that Brad and Michaela can address them, please feel free and I'll read them out. I suppose we can talk a little bit about the food and what a day looks like, a typical day looks like from start to finish. But Brad, you want to maybe just give a little bit of a...
Okay, so the food's outstanding. It's above restaurant. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's the chef, Luke, does an amazing job. when we're sort of getting the horses ready in the morning, Luke's in there prepping the evening meal. He makes the most amazing lunch packs. They go on the pack horse. So while we're riding, we're traveling with a pack horse. So we've got, thermoses of tea and coffee and beautiful meals that he's prepared for the day. And we generally, pardon me, I've got to sneeze. We find a, we
You
find
can sneeze and I can take over for you if you want.
just hang on, give me a second.
Yeah. So the morning you wake up in the mornings you have a beautiful breakfast, a continent. You either have continental or a cooked breakfast. You have a choice each day, and then the lunches are beautifully prepared by the kitchen, by the chef, and Brad and Michaela bring the lunches along in a pack on the pack horse. And normally choose a magnificent spot to set up the camp for lunch, and then at the end of the ride you return and you'll have pre-dinner drinks, and then you'll go in for a 3-course meal with wines around a long dining room table, which is just a beautiful way to finish the day. You might want to squeeze in a quick sauna or a swim or a game of tennis before the cocktails, or you might even have booked a massage as well, which is possible. But the options and the facilities at Mount William Station are just magnificent. And I think just recently, I might be wrong, but I think in the last month or two, they've just won a major award within Australia for regional tourism. So that makes it pretty exciting. Brad, I've got a question from one of the Globetrotters. Is that they've got a dry as a bone? Will they need more wet weather gear? They're from Darwin, actually. So
okay, yep.
Maybe you can give them a little bit of a rundown on.
So just so everyone knows, the Grampians area can get very cold. You can even get snow on the top of Mount William Plateau. We're a little bit lower than that, but it can get pretty cold. So, we do have some dry bones that we can lend to people. But if you have your own wet weather gear, probably a good idea to bring that. And a wool garment is always good underneath that. But
we always find that we always recommend that layers are the best thing. So if you just bring a few layers, and the weather does get cold, and it does vary, but you also have absolutely magnificent days. So in Victoria at the moment, they've got sunny days. It's cool starts in the morning, but they're sunny days. But the weather does change, and it does vary. So being prepared and having enough layers and a warm jacket is a lovely way to be.
But I suppose the thing to remember also is every night you're going back to that 5-star accommodation where the fire's usually always going. You've got hot water, heated flooring, I think.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Drinks on hand.
We did have a question of whether someone can bring their own saddle and use it if it fits the horse that they're assigned.
Yeah, if it fits the horse and it fits them, we're happy.
Yep.
Yep.
I did have a question about the weather, and I'm sure whatever I'll say will be wrong. But there was a question about someone from North Queensland was asking about Sam, and it was asking about the weather down in central Victoria. I think the mornings could get down as low as between 0 to 3 maybe start mornings. So they're cool starts, but then during the day on a standard day it would be somewhere between sort of 8 and 15, I would say, during the day.
Yep.
Which weather radar should we watch? Which ones do you subscribe to?
Probably Adelaide.
No.
Adelaide.
You're watching
560k loop.
The weather comes from each.
Which down? Oh, right. I thought radars. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll pick up off certain stations.
Willara.
Willara Station. Yeah, that's exactly right. Brad, do you want to just talk about the tack I had a couple of questions about the saddles.
Okay, so we've got we make our own saddles, but not everyone will have one of our saddles. So it sort of depends on the fit on the horse. So we use a Pete Brophy tree for those who are into saddle making or understand about Peter Brophy. Should Google them. They're awesome flat seat saddle, which you can get that heel, hip, and elbow alignment, which a lot of people, if they're coming from an English background, are used to. But by the same token, you can get your feet forward in the event, you're riding in rougher country. We've got a few. We've got everything from Western saddles through to. We don't have any dressage saddles. Mainly stock fenders. They've got a little bit more displacement of the weight behind the seat and in front of the pommel. So we find they are good for horses doing lots of work. And they ride with a felt pad. So we try to get people as close to their horse as possible so that they're riding their horse, they're not riding their saddle. And, people got their own private saddle that they love and feel comfortable in, bringing along. And if it fits the horse you're allocated, then we're happy for you to use that. We
have a question. Do we have helmets to borrow, or do you have helmets to borrow?
We've got some helmets for people that don't wish to bring their own helmets.
Right.
Yep.
And I know you've mentioned that you have dryer's bone. So for those that don't have it or don't want to pack it and bring it along, they always have it, and they actually have a very well appointed drying room there as well for the drying bones overnight, which is great, or any other wet weather gear.
Yep.
Definitely suggest. I definitely suggest making sure that you, at the end of each day, is you make a little bit of time before you go into the fireplace, around the fire in the sitting room, and have a cocktail. That maybe squeeze in half an hour in the sauna, which is always fired up and ready for the riders as soon as they return. It's a lovely way of getting rid of the aches and pains or any of the stiffness from especially the first day.
We had people doing the plunge, like the sauna, and then into the cold pool, and then back into the sauna last week.
That's great. But it is an absolutely magnificent place. The food is exceptional. The hospitality is amazing. The riding, the horses are unbelievable. We haven't really talked about the horses. The main thing of this whole thing. You want to maybe talk about the horses just a little bit, the types of horses that you have within the herd?
Yeah. Actually, just one point so people know. So that the homestead has had Charles and Di stay there at one point, and it's the old homestead of Sir Thomas Elder and the Bar Smiths, who were Elder's Real Estate, Elder's Smith. That's a bit of the history on the place. But yeah, the horses are a variety. So we've got everything from warm bloods to quarter horses, stock horses, gypsy cobs,
Clyde crosses,
Brumbies, Clyde crosses. In our general plan, we've got some coloured horses.
Those are beautiful
mares gelding mixes.
And do you guys like the guests tacking and untacking themselves or helping you with it? What's
they can if they want. We've got certain ways we do things, but we're happy to show people if they're interested to see how we do it. Generally, when you get up in the morning and you've had your scrumptious breakfast, and then everything should be done by the time you get over to.
That's a good answer, because I mean, for those who do want the whole experience, who do love coming out with you in the morning and tacking up and helping you and all that, it's definitely you definitely can do it, and you're welcomed.
The shovel and the wheelbarrow is always available for those who want to work out.
Beautiful. We're getting near to the end of the 20 minutes, and I'm mindful of the time. Maybe Brad Michaela, what's one thing that always surprises the guests? on this ride?
Probably the size of the trees. People
Yeah.
always comment on the trees. So, and how beautiful it is, of course. So the entire ride, we've got the Grampians as a background, and they are really spectacular mountain range. Yeah, and it's just probably one of the best grazing districts in Victoria. So it's
Thank you.
yeah,
That's great. I just have a final. Just want to address a question that someone's raised in the room in relation to what if the group is a mixture of beginners and intermediate and some advanced.
Yep.
The way that Brad and Michaela manage this or manage the rides, they can create a situation or environment where all riders are happy along similar lines as what he was talking about with the aircraft carrier. So people who want to go off to the side and do their own thing and come back, it works exceptionally well in practice. You might want to add anything.
Yeah. So we've had experience before using big group canters, and sometimes there's always someone who's not as confident. So we have to manage those circumstances, and we find that often group canters happen in the one spot, so the horses know when they get to that spot they're going to canter, so they can, their energy builds up. So we found that the aircraft carrier analogy, which is the group travel as a herd, and then people wish to peel off the side, just keeps everyone safe. There is some broken ground out there. There's wire, there's slippery surfaces. So we just got to make sure everyone has a good time and stay safe. That's the main thing.
But I can confidently say that these guys are brilliant at managing a mix of abilities, which is absolutely fantastic. And you're able to satisfy. Everyone's able to be able to satisfy their own needs. Again, I always encourage all Globetrotters to talk to the ride partners, check in, tell them how you're feeling, tell them what you think you want a bit more or you want a bit less. They love hearing from you, and the more you talk to them, the more they understand what you want, and the better experience you'll have at the end, all round. Okay.
Correct.
We do have you'll probably note there is the Facebook page and one other thing is that there'll be a WhatsApp page that will be set up as well for communication. And there was a question with respect to, is there a drying room or a dryer for wet boots? Yes, there is. It's a very well thought out dry room. So at the end of each day, anything that's wet will be able to be dry by overnight.
It's a bit Arabic.
Yep. We've probably used up all of our 20 minutes. I very much appreciate everybody making and taking the time to join Brad and Michaela and get to meet them. I hope it's been helpful. Love this ride. It's one of my favourites. It's in a beautiful part of Victoria. Very excited for all of you. And thank you for joining today, and have a great trip and a great ride when your departure happens. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.